I love my global family. Gary, my family, especially my 97-year-old Jewish mother from Brooklyn. Love Gary's mother. Jonathan was just saying that Jonathan was reading Gary's mother's book. So how is that, Jonathan?
So far, it's very entertaining. It's and I'm looking to also glean that wisdom of a professional worry for good health, and instead of letting it stress me out, using it for healing.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I know that this day can be some kind. Can you make Mike Smith a co-host for me, Jonathan? Thank you. I know that this day can be kind of bittersweet. You know, for me as a single mom growing up, it was kind of a bittersweet. But for me and the traditions that I had, my father would always buy my mother roses for Valentine's Day. And after he passed, he's been gone about 26 years. I made sure that I always bought her a bouquet of roses from my dad, as well as I would buy her a bouquet of roses from me and my daughter. So those were kind of the traditions that I had, and it just always made my mom smile when she got those bouquet of roses from my dad, you know, even though, you know, it was for me, but it was just really an awesome experience to be able to see her light up. So does anybody else have a unique, you know, tradition that they would like to share? Well, Paula says that she loves her sister, and Thomas says that he loves himself, which is wonderful. This is exactly what we're going to be doing, is talking about self-love, because this day can be so bittersweet for so many of us. We're going to be talking a lot about self-love. So great. I would like to ask, Corey, will you unmute? Corey, you were in seeing Dr. Clint yesterday. You were on the Facebook Live with him in the Pulse Clinic. Could you share your experience? Would love to hear from you.
Hey, I'm on a Zoom call.
Okay, just want to wish you happy Valentine's.
Thank you. You disappeared last night.
Whoops, Denise, can you mute you? Thank you. Corey.
Okay. Yesterday was a magical day. I spent Friday afternoon with Clint and his brother and his sister-in-law at their legendary event where he presented and was doing readings, and then he was doing pulse readings yesterday in Salt Lake City, and I was there the whole day enjoying mung bean soup with his mother and all the guests that came by, and several of them were my family that came to get their
Corey. Hi, Corey.
Hi, Gary. Good morning. And it was just wonderful. And I met Joseph there, who is not part of this group right now, but he's part of the community. And he shared with me another wonderful new book. And it was just a day of enlightenment and love. And I did share already on the Facebook, but one of the live shows that Clint did yesterday was honoring his mother. And talking about how Dr. Naram said, how men are idiots without a good woman and without honoring women. And then Clint honored his mother and acknowledged that was the first time in his life he'd been able to give her a reading on the pulse, was that day. And in that moment, I actually felt the presence of my mother, who came and visited for a moment, and she's been on the other side since 1987. So that was a beautiful moment for me.
I'm so glad that you said that. Thank you so much, Corey. Yes, it is amazing when we get those feelings of other people on the other side. I get them often, and that's so beautiful. Thank you so much for reminding us about that. Let's go ahead and honor Dr. Clint. Dr. Clint is on a plane or is on his way to Iowa. He's going to be seeing some of the people in the group. Let's just send him and Kyle a bunch of love. Let's put our hands together, rub them, and just send them love and safety wherever they're going. Awesome. You guys are so amazing. Thank you so much. Well, we have the luxury of being able to see or have Gary on the call with us. Gary, would love to have you share, your miracle and then your music.
Great. Hi, everybody. I've forgotten Clint wasn't going to be here today. So it's really beautiful to be there and supporting Jana and the team. I just came back from Utah last night where I had my first pulse reading with Clint. It's so funny. We've been beloved friends and partners in Wisdom of the World for 12 years. And the fact that I had my first official pulse reading with him was amazing. And I just want to share a little story first before I use the music to drop us into our hearts. I was doing a yoga with Clint last Monday before I started the legendary week workshop with Gerald Rogers and his team. And I've been experiencing some concerning symptoms that I hadn't experienced since I had a stent put in my heart in December of 2019. And I was really concerned about it. And but I was trying to track it. And in the middle of a yoga pose that Clint and I were doing, I literally collapsed on the floor from dizziness. And Clint immediately rushed to me and grabbed his handy dandy, medical pack that he has, and just immediately took my blood pressure, and it was like really high. And I don't identify myself as somebody with heart problems, but since the stent was put in, I'm officially on notice, and it was 155 plus over 90. It was very high. So he did these, put ghee in my belly button and around my head, and he did all the marma points, and within 10 minutes my blood pressure went down to 135 and stayed down, because I borrowed a blood pressure cuff for the rest of the week, and stayed down for the rest of the week, which, because I know that I'd been experiencing high blood pressure. So that was amazing. And you have to understand, Clint's one of my closest friends, and I never really originally thought this was going to end with him being a master healer. So it's just such a beautiful thing to experience, having him right by my side at that moment. And it's extraordinary. This lineage of healing is so beautiful to witness and surrender and allow to affect us positively. So I'm that's my little story, and I'm thrilled. But now let's just take a moment, as when I'm lucky enough to be the creator or the curator of music for us to drop in. Now more than ever, because we're all learning how to take responsibility for ourselves, our health, as this lineage asks us to really be clear about what we want. What do we want? What do you want? Well, this is the sacred, beautiful day of Valentine's Day. And so the most beautiful gift that you can give yourself is the gorgeous experience of ongoing self-love, right? And so, as you know, I specialize after composing for TV and film and commercials for many years. 20 years ago, I started committing myself to exploring the way we can listen to wisdom with our hearts and our souls, not just our minds and our ears. And I teamed up with this woman named Sarah McCrum at the website sarahmccrum.com or transformance.global. I'll send you the link. But we go into the studio and we drop into a very deep place and we improvise these things. And they're truly transmissions. So I'd like to encourage you all. In this case, can we all just take all the things off our laps, and if possible, have our feet on the ground and back straight. Let's all take 3 deep breaths together. Ready? Big exhale. And again. And again. Make a big sighing sound. I invite you guys to go into your own inner sanctum, your own inner sanctuary. And I'd like to play this track. It's about a little longer than others that I've done because it's so special, and it's about 8 minutes long. Please allow yourself to not be distracted. Like, just put all the distractions aside, all the iPhone and the texting and all that, and just allow yourself to be wrapped in the blanket of this beautiful experience. And I'll see you on the other side. Thank you for lending yourself and your attention to this process. Hold on. I forgot to share. Hold on. Here we go. Share sound. And here we go.
Please, come here for a minute. Come and listen. There's a message for you. Can you imagine what it would be like to be a small child being treated the way you treat yourself? Can you imagine talking to a small child the way you talk to yourself? Can you imagine criticizing a small child the way you criticize yourself? Can you imagine judging a small child the way you judge yourself? What would happen to that child? What's happened to you? You know, there's another way to treat yourself. There's no need to be so hard, to be so ruthless, to be so unforgiving. I know you've made mistakes. Everyone has. I know you've let people down. I know that life didn't always go the way you wanted it to go. I understand why you see yourself this way. But I am here to show you something else. I am here to call you to a higher place. A place that is already within you, but so often forgotten. So misunderstood. So hidden away. And so I call you now to touch into the deep well within you of love. Love that has no limit. Love that is for you, not only for others. The love you would give to a small child who doesn't know what she's doing. The love you'd give to a baby who's just arrived in this world and is confused by the way it's working. Are you so different from them? And so I'm here to call you to be kind, to be gentle, to be forgiving, first and foremost, of yourself. And I'm here to remind you that it doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you've made. It doesn't matter how many people you've let down. The love that I'm talking about sees no faults, no wrongs. It sees only itself in you, and it calls you back to itself.
The moment from the transmission of the liminal space of that gorgeous internal experience of giving ourselves that self-love is the moment of such sacred assimilation. When the music ends and we drop in, that moment is to be held very close to our heart, very special as we re-enter into time and space. And I just want to say how incredibly grateful I am on this day of love that I get to share this beautiful transformance by me and Sarah McCrum. And I just want to say, because we always miss the chats, one opportunity, and then I'll let Jana take over, is that the Wisdom of the World website is something that Clint and I have created to use music as a way to ground wisdom into our heart, body, mind, and soul. So please join wisdomoftheworld.com's community. And when you join it, you'll be able to get all these gifts that Clint and I have designed for these experiences of grounding into our innocent heart, the ability to remember these basic truths that we also share, that innocent inner child we all have, deserving love and forgiveness and tons of room to learn. So it goes, I'll put the chat in wisdomoftheworld.com, but please join us and there'll be all these gifts. And I pass it on to you, Jana. Thank you for the opportunity to celebrate the day of love in this way. All my love. Take care, everybody.
Words cannot express how much I love Gary and his talent. The ability to be able to create the way that he does is just amazing. I just am so grateful for him. I'm so grateful that I get to meet him and interact with him. I
just
saw,
want to jump in and just say, echo what you just said, actually. And I did get a chance to meet Gary on Friday, which was just an honor. He was like a big angel that I saw briefly, and then he disappeared.
And I was so upset with myself that I went to anyway, I can't believe I missed the presentation, but I know that there'll be other opportunities. So Michael, it was so good to give you a hug in 3D at long last, you and your beloved. I send you great love, and sorry I missed the opportunity to see you then.
It's so great. And I wish, my Valentine's wish is that everybody gets to receive a hug from Gary. It's sweeter than chocolate.
That's wonderful.
And healthier too.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much. I saw so many people that were touched by Gary's music. Is there somebody that would like to unmute and share their experience?
Yes, I would like to say something.
Thank you, Janine.
Thank you, Gary, for this beautiful music. It helped me to stop overthinking. I was entangled with my thoughts, and they were not so good for myself. And now I could get a healthy distance to them and feel loved again. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for that. I rarely get to have this kind of space to be appreciated. I'm so grateful. Thank you. I mean, in this call. Yeah, thank you.
So beautiful, Janine. Thank you so much for sharing. I love Gary's music because a lot of times when I am doing the calls, for those of you who do not know who I am, I'm Jana Taylor, and I'm just a volunteer. I've just been part of the community since the end of March, and I have been on many projects with Dr. Clint, from data entry to, co-hosting with him on these calls, and then during the miracle calls when he was in silence, I had the luxury of being able to lead them. So I'm just like you, and I'm just so grateful to be here, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity. But sometimes, because I'm not as experienced as some other people on this platform, I get a little bit in my head. And when I want to lead the call, I just love Gary's music to be able to drop me into my heart so I can get into that heart space. That it opens up the energy for you guys to be able to share as well. So thank you, Janine, for sharing. Thank you, Gary, for your music. Is there anybody else who would like to share about their experience this week? Yes, Jerem.
Yeah, hi. Gary, thank you so much. This is an issue, self-love, I've been with very strongly the past couple of weeks. And the synchronicity of you presenting this piece today was just total gift to me. So, so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jerem. Vinay, hello, how are you? Would love to hear from you.
Same I here. Thank you very much, and wish you all a happy Valentine's Day, a day of love. Big hug from me to everyone, and really especially my big hug to Mr. Gary, because I have that tuning with him, the way we met and we introduced to each other when we met in the Bombay. And I still remember, and still I can see that my old pores are opening up. I get a goosebumps, and still I hear when we recorded about Dr. Naram's voice and the way he presented music and everything. Oh my God, I have no word to express that part. I stopped working on my laptop. I was just working on the urgent work, and the moment the music started, and I would just be in that moment only. So thank you very much, Mr. Gary. It's you are the amazing.
Vinny, I am so touched to see you, and the loyalty and the profound gift that you have given me and Dr. Naram in the form of your life service is so moving to me, and I'm just so grateful. And and remember that moment in the studio when we recorded Dr. Naram. I want you to know, all of you, that I'm working on Dr. Naram's messages and setting up the music, and you guys will be having it sometime in the next month or two. And I can't wait for you guys to experience these transformances with Dr. Naram's voice. It's going to be very exciting. Dr. Vinay, so good to see you, and blessings to you, my friend.
Same I hear. Big hug to you, Mr. Gary.
I think we're all hugging you back, Vinay. We just adore you. Thank you so much for being part of this call.
Thank you.
So happy that you're part of the community.
My pleasure.
Ronnie, would you like to share?
I would. Thank you. Thank you. Gary, I am just sitting in the same seat with the same vibe that Jana is, all about you and your music and what you do. But what I'd like to know is that piece available? Because I can't imagine anybody on the earth, on our planet, that doesn't need to hear what we just heard and feel the timing is so amazing, not just Valentine's Day, but what we're all experiencing. Can we share that with others? Can we buy it?
Absolutely. They're available for downloading, for sale. And I just put it up on there. It's called transformance.global. And it's also on Sarah McCrum's website. But transformance.global has all of our transformances available. And that one's called A Call to Self-Love and Healing. And you know, it's interesting. Most of the music I write is normally very different than that. But there was something about the purity of the message of self-love that wanted me to imitate Bach. I hope it was not sacrilegious, but it was taking the prelude of Bach's first prelude in C major. And something just cleaned out all egoic need to have myself expressed. And suddenly there I am improvising a prelude of Bach, you know, like a fantasia on Bach or something. And it was because the purity of Bach's music is so apparent. And I agree with you. There's something about that message that brings us to this. Can we ever treat ourselves the way we treat a child? And it's such a powerful way of thinking about it. And it's something we always need reminding. So Ronnie, thank you for saying that. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share where people could download it if they wish. That's so great. Thank you.
You're welcome. I also would like to say I have been on your site many, many times, and I want to encourage everybody to go there. Do you know, I get on there and I'm going to look for one card, and I end up doing all of them, and I do them over and over and over again, and I think, I got to get back to work. I just love them. Everyone on the call, please go and just look at the card section and see the creation and the beauty and I could talk a long time about it. It's just such a gift. It's such a time out that just is so loving, and the beauty. The beauty is expanding, and I don't even have words for it.
So what Ronnie's talking about is, and I'm a little nervous because we really should talk about the book. So I'm getting a little uncomfortable because Ancient Secrets is what we should be talking about. But I'll just say, and then I'll get off, that Ronnie was just talking about this wonderful thing we developed called wisdom cards. And literally, just because, go on to wisdomoftheworld.com and go to the wisdom cards page and send a love message. It's a 30-second multi-sensory visual spoken word and music experience of beauty that you can send as a greeting card to people you love. And today, Valentine's Day, what a better day. I can't imagine a better day than to send a wisdom card to people you love. So Ronnie, thank you for that plug. And I really am going to get off now. And thank you so much.
Mary.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Ronnie. So much. Padmalaya. Oh, yes. Who's speaking?
Dr. Mehta here.
Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm fine. I want to say thanks to Gary. And before he leave, I want to hear his voice. He's singing so nice.
Oh
before
my God, Dr. Mehta, my doctor from Ayushanti. Oh my God, it's so good to see you.
Please, please, please sing a so small piece. I want to listen that.
Well, I don't.
Okay,
I think
please.
Sharada Vijadani Katyayani Dunkarani Jagata Janani Jwalamukhi Mata Saraswati 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 Sharada.
Awesome.
Dr. Mehta was my doctor at Ayashakti Clinic when Clinton and I did Panchakarma together. And I surprised her by singing in Hindi because I studied with Ali Akbar Khan, the Ustad Ali Akbar Khan, for 3 years when I was 20 years old. And life-changing Indian classical music was the greatest gift of my life, to study at the feet of the masters. So Dr. Mehta, blessings to you. What a thrill. Oh my God. We better start talking about ancient secrets now.
Well, we are so excited to have Dr. Mehta on the phone. We have we are so excited to be able to hear from Manera. And Manera, Dr. Mehta was Manera's doctor. And so Dr. Mehta, if we could hear from Manera first, and then we'd love to hear your viewpoint of that. I would love to hear that. Manera, are you on? I know you're on the call. I've seen you on the call.
Hi.
This woman is so full of life, so full of energy and excitement, adventure. She's just contagious. She's amazing. And I'm just so excited to have her on the call and share her very, very powerful story. So Manera, can you share with us?
Hi, first of all, happy Valentine's Day. Thank you, Gary. We love the music. I always enjoy listening to everything you post. Hello to Mr. Vinay, and Dr. Mehta was my doctor too when I was doing Panchakarma in India. So she's amazing, honestly. I stayed there for 3 months, and I tell my sisters, I have never seen her lose it. She's always calm, and she's always happy, and she's always, I just love her, and I aspire to be like her when I grow up, to be honest. So first of all, hi everyone, happy Valentine's Day. Some of you heard my story, so I'm sorry I have to hear it again. But for those who didn't hear the story,
Manera, it is such a powerful story. I think it's one that we would all love to hear again and again. So, this woman was in a position where one day she woke up and she couldn't move. So you imagine this beautiful woman, full of energy, full of, life, laying in bed and cannot move. She didn't know what was going on. Go ahead.
It was scary. Funny thing, it was exactly on Valentine's Day back in 2017 when I got paralyzed fully. It was one day I was at the gym, and then the next morning I was not able to move. So it was really scary to me. It was scary for my family because I was just laying down in bed and I could not get up, and I didn't know what was happening to me. So it was extremely terrifying. So when I went to the doctor, I've done a lot of tests, and I've done x-rays, MRIs, until they said it's probably an autoimmune disease. And when I did the test, it came positive for rheumatoid arthritis. My RA factor was extremely high. I think the normal one is 4 or 6. Mine was up to 50. And so, of course, I didn't know what arthritis is because we don't have it in my family. So I was really terrified, and I was just reading about it online. And my dad could not believe the results. And he's like, let's travel to Dubai for 1 week and, let's chill there and see another doctor and get another opinion. And we did that, and same results. Now my doctor put me on, what's the medication called? I forgot what it's called. I'm sorry. No, that was like the last one I've taken, because that was stronger than the one I had, because the first one I had didn't do anything to me.
Arfoxia, maybe?
Something like that. Yeah.
Arfoxia. Hi.
No, Arcoxia was later on. I had to take it because, and it worked. Arcoxia worked for 12 hours. So I would only move for 12 hours. And then at the end of the day, I have to go back to sleep. Yeah, it's a kind of steroids. I see the messages. And my dad got me a helper. She's from Bangladesh. Her name is Farida, God bless her. She was helping me every morning she would feed me, bathe me, help me change my clothes, and carry my bag around because I was not able to do that on my own.
So you can imagine, I mean, this woman full of energy, happiness, adventure, being in bed, not being able to move, having to have a helper. Can you imagine what was going on in her mind? The self-criticism, the
Yeah.
self-deprivation, deprecation.
The
Yeah,
amount
the
of
depression. Yes.
I honestly, I reached a point in my life, it was so extreme where I lost hope at the beginning, the first couple of months, especially when every time I saw a doctor, they were like, you know, it's a chronic disease and you're gonna have to live with it. I'm 33 right now. I got rheumatoid when I was 29. And so to me, it's like, okay, so you're telling me my life just ended, you know? It was too much for me. I still had a long list of things to do with my life, and not being able to move really got in the way. I had a boutique, and I had to close it. I was not able to run it. Of course, I fell into depression. My family and friends were there for me. Although I shut down, I didn't want to contact anyone from my friends, but I was really lucky to have an amazing support system from my close friends. Although I didn't want to see any of them, they would still come all the way to my room and they would sit next to me and say, you know, whatever it is, we can go through it. And in my head at that time, I was just so depressed, and I was in such a dark place. I was like, oh no, you don't understand, like this is forever. And
But Manera, did you get to a place where you just became very angry?
Oh, I did, absolutely. I was very angry because, you know, I kept asking questions like, so what did I do? Like, why me? I don't deserve it. You know, questions like that. And it's very hard. Like, it's not like you have a conversation with God, so you're not really getting an answer. But I was really angry at the beginning. And so my dad was like, okay, listen, we're going to the States. You plan the entire trip, you and your sister, because my other sister could not go away from work for 4 months. So me and my baby sister planned a 4 months trip to the States. And he's like, do whatever. My dad was trying to get me out of that depressed mood. And of course, we went there to see a doctor in Mayo Clinic in Scottsdale. And but the entire trip was just go have fun, go do, you know, whatever you want. And so at that time, that kind of lifted me up, to be honest, because I was really feeling down. But before I went to the States, I went to see my grandmother, and you know, I was crying there because she's like my second mom. And so I told her, I'm like, I don't know why this is happening to me. All doctors are like, you know, this is chronic and you're going to live with this for the rest of your life. Like if I need to move, you know, I can't even make my cup of coffee in the morning. I have to depend on medication, and that's too much for me. And then she kept saying, well, you need to accept it. Mind you that the first couple of months, I wasn't in that state of acceptance and you know, living or dealing with it. I was still angry. I was still confused and scared. And I wasn't in the, oh, okay, I'll just accept it. It's fine. It wasn't to me. It was like, you know, I still argued with her. Like, how can I accept this? I'm not okay with this. And then she says, you know, once you accept it, everything will be okay. And she said, like, don't let doctors tell you that what you can or can't do. You will pass this. And it's just in my head, it was just like, it's a motherly talk. You would think that's what mothers would say, but science says otherwise. So I wasn't like, I didn't believe it, but yeah, it's good to hear that. But deep down inside, I knew she just said that to me to make me feel better, but I wasn't. So I went to the States, my trip started. I've seen yet another doctor. And when I asked him if I can heal from this disease, and he said, well, I don't want to get your hopes up. It's like 3 to 5%. I mean, it's chronic. Up until that point, I was still getting higher doses of medication, still taking strong medication. I have side effects from the strong medication that I'm taking. And now I have to take medication for the side effects. So it's just the medication are piling up. And so let's say the point where I believe everything changed was when my turning point was in California, when I was with my baby sister at the beach. And I always say, like, this is the place that I love to go to. And so when I had arthritis, when I would move, it's very tiring, but when you swim, it's kind of easier. And maybe that's why I loved it even more, because once I swim for a minute there, I forget the pain. And so I had a moment with God, and that is the moment where I let go. The acceptance.
Nara, tell us a little bit about that. Tell us, if I remember right, you just surrendered. You just said, okay, if this is my life, this is my life. I surrender. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So it was, okay, I might get emotional. I was at the beach alone, and I told God, I was like, okay, this is like, I don't know, the 4th doctor that tells me this is chronic. I don't know why me. I don't know why this is happening to me, but I do accept it. And if there is a cure, I want it now. I need it now, because I can't live like this the rest of my life. It's just not me. But if there isn't a cure, I really need your help, because I can't do this anymore. And I accept it. And there was a load in my heart that I felt was lifted. And then I just went on with my day. I would just continued swimming and enjoying the rest of the day. Now, the next day, we were on a road trip, and Uncle Chuck was telling me, he's my father's best friend, my godfather, my uncle. He was telling my father and me about this Indian doctor. And I was sitting in the car. It was early in the morning. We were on a road trip from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. And he says, I want to tell you about this Indian doctor. His name is Naram. And he said, I think you should talk to him, because I think he might help you with your case. And he said, nothing guaranteed, but just call him. And so the minute I picked up the phone, called Dr. Naram. And for some reason, I know this is going to sound funny, but in my heart, I felt like that was my answer. And so I called Dr. Naram and I said, my name is Munira. This is my case. And what do I do? And he's like, oh, don't worry. Like, he's the first doctor that's optimistic. And it's like, don't worry. I'll send you some medication and an email. And he says, start with the herbs and read the email, and you're going to be okay. My father is skeptical about it, of course. His next stop was Germany. He's like, we're going to go to a really good doctor in Germany after the States. And I printed the email. It was like a 9-page email of this vegetarian diet. And I followed it to the T. And I started to take the herbs. 3 months later, I did, the usual blood tests. And for the first time, the RA factor dropped. And so I took the blood tests and I went to my father. I could not believe it. And I said, these are the results. Mind you, I was still taking the other medication. And so I said, for the past 3 months, I do feel better. I'm sleeping better. I do feel less pain. And I think we have something here. And my dad's still skeptical about it. He's like, okay, well, call the doctor and let's see what he's all about. And so we booked an appointment. At that time, he was in Italy, and we directly flew there to him. I met Dr. Naram with Dr. Clint and Dr. Giovanni. And he was, he was extremely happy and very optimistic. I'm sorry. And he did the pulse reading and he said, what are your dreams? And I said, my dream is to stop taking these medications that are hurting my body. My other dream is to travel the world. And he's like, and of course I said, I want to heal. And he said, you will heal. And he was the first doctor that says that to me. And he said, all you need to do is go to India and there's a doctor there, her name is Mehta, and she's going to take care of you. And so I said, okay. I went back to Saudi Arabia, packed my bags and went to India. And so I met Dr. Mehta for the first time, and she did a pulse reading, and she said, okay, it's, she's like doing my file. She's like, you eat that food, you do this, you're going to be fine. And all this is new to me, so I really don't know what to expect. And I was just ready. I extended my stay in India for 3 months because I really wanted to leave the center without the medication. And I did it. I left the medication there and I exchanged those toxic medication with the herbs. And when I came back, 2 months later, I did the test again, the blood tests again, and I was 100% cured. The doctors there told me that you need to continue doing this for 1 year. And after 1 year, you'll see results. I saw results before 1 year, just within months. And it was amazing. And when I did the blood tests and I went to a completely different hospital, a completely different doctor. So he doesn't know I had rheumatoid arthritis. And when I said, so what is my blood test says? And he says, you're fine. And I'm like, what about the rheumatoid? He's like, do you have rheumatoid? Like, it's not there anymore. And I took the papers, and Dr. Naram was my first phone call before my parents. I called him and I called him and I said, I'm okay. I'm rheumatoid free. Can you believe it? And he was so happy, and Dr. Clint they're both so happy. And they were like, listen, we're going to have a lecture in Germany. Can you come? And I'm like, yeah, of course I'm coming. Definitely book me. I have to tell everyone about this. And that's what I told Dr. Clint. I remember telling him, more people need to know about this. I know there are a lot of people suffering out there, and they need to know that there is an option, that you could heal. Like, they shouldn't believe doctors that tell them that you're going to live on medication and pain the rest of your life. Like, they need to know that there are other options that you could get better. And I told Dr. Clint, I said, I want to be a part of this, and I want more people to know about this. And when I did my video in Berlin, he said, can we post them? And I said, yes, post them, and put my email there, let people call me. And I have been getting phone calls from people all over the world, and I try my best to help all of them. And I'm really, really happy because if it weren't for my doctors and their support, I wouldn't be here like happy and healthy. So
You're amazing. I can absolutely see why everybody is giving you a call that needs to. Oh my gosh, it's such an amazing story that you're up, you're walking. At one point in time, you were in a wheelchair and you're not in the wheelchair anymore. And it's so amazing that this, who knew that this could be a cure? So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for listening.
Not just with our group, but with everybody that you come in contact with. Dr. Mehta, how does this happen? How does this work? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yes, when she came us in Ayushakti, at that time she has so much pain in her wrist, shoulder, elbows. Everything was swollen also, and she was not able to do the movements of her hands also. And I see some tears in her eyes, and she was telling Dr. Mehta, I am not able to lift anything, but her face was so smiley with that much of pain. So, and I was not believing that. Okay, how the persons, they have this much of pain and they can smile. Always she was smiling, in pain also. And I check her pulse. I have seen so much swelling in her pulse, as well as so much vata, high vata condition was there, stiffness was there, pitta was very high, ama was there. And just I start to ask, and I found that she's so much fond of nice food, and she was having that kind of foods, healthy, very rich. And I think maybe she was traveling a lot also. And I think in 2013, Munirana, you got some severe problem with the lungs.
Yeah,
And
I
think it
I
is
had pneumonia at
pneumonia.
2013. Yeah.
Yeah. And at that time, maybe they had given the higher antibiotic also to you. And that make your immune system very down. And after that, you were living the same lifestyle, like you were having the junk food very much. I know. I think, yeah, when she was there, I treated her and she was out of pain. She was teasing me like anything. I'm going in the mall. I want this. I want this. Can I have this? Can I have this? And I was just saying, don't do like that. Please, please, please.
She was also my babysitter. Like I would tell her, can I go out? Like, oh my God, can I say this one story, Dr. Mehta? Remember when you said on Sunday you have a day off? And I thought day off means go have fun. So I ordered pizza and I didn't know. It was like my first week. So I didn't know what off day meant. And it was so, and then the next morning when she was reading my pulse, she was like, did you have pizza? And I was like, yeah, and a milkshake. And then she said, why? And I said, well, you said it was a day off. And she's like, when I say day off, what do you think? And I'm thinking, well, free day off, I can eat. She's like, no, day off, you can go outside and, take a walk and come back, but not eat. Oh God, it was, thank you for bearing with me. I was a handful.
No, but after understanding of that all the things, she has become so obedient, and she was following rules and regulars. Yeah. And we started her treatments in Ayushakti. When the patients, they are coming, we are just by checking the pulse, first of all, we are removing the arm. Arm is the toxins, which is the indigested food juice. And it's very sticky. It's going in the channels, is blocking the channels. Yeah. And we are giving the treatments like we are changing full diet. First of all, we are keeping the patients on moong and the vegetable diet. And we are telling them to drink the ginger water at least twice a day. We are giving some medicine which is helping to digest the food. even penetrating the toxins, which has gone very deeper in the tissues. Yeah. And after that, we are starting with some treatments, and that is the Pindaswed. Pindaswed, we are making the herbal balls, potlis, and we are making them hot on the hot plate, and we are applying on the full body. We are doing the gentle massage with that. When the persons, they are feeling quite like uh, out of pain, and then we are starting with some Siddha massage. Siddha massage also is penetrating inside, is helping to stimulate the toxins, and the Pindaswed is helping to like smoothen that, and it starts to move from the channels. And that
Amazing.
massage we are giving minimum 4 to 7 days. For Munir, I think we had given the 7 days that Pindaswed and Siddha massage. No? And after that, we are starting with the medicated ghee. Medicated ghee we are giving for the internal lubrications, oiling, and which is helping to flow the toxins from the channels to the digestive tract. And with that, we are giving the some oil massage, steams, and after completion of that massage treatment, one day are giving that kind of medicine, which is helping to remove the toxins. People, they are passing minimum 8-10 to maximum 15-20 motions. How you felt, Munira, after doing your Virechan process?
I was terrified when you explained what will happen to me, but afterwards I felt so good. Like it's really relaxing. Like you would also because I did yoga, and I want to thank my yogi Miss Vandana. She was there for me as well. Like I took private classes with her, and she kept telling me, to write about all the bad things that happened to me, because that helps. You need to ask yourself, like I used to ask myself questions like, what got me here? And I think we need to like we all go through stress, we all go through stuff in our lives, losses, and just fights or arguments and whatever, and all of that does affect our health with the stress and work, and our lives are very fast. And I think, to me, that was a wake-up call where I had to just reevaluate everything in my life. And I want to say that to all of you, like, it's not just a diet, and it's not just doing the detox. You really need to analyze everything. And that's what I did. Honestly speaking, I don't know how to explain this, but after I did the detox, remember I told you, like, I feel so relaxed, like my head feels clear. And when I first did one of the massages in my heart, remember I told you for some reason I started crying, and you said that it's normal, like just let it out. I was a little embarrassed at first, like I didn't want to cry in front of the ladies that were doing the massage for me. But then Dr. Mehta is like, just, this is your safe place, cry, do whatever. And I can't explain everything, but it was like an emotional roller coaster. But it did, at every time I tell you I have a problem, you tell me after your detox you will feel better. And it was true. I mean, after my detox, I did feel lighter in the heart, and more clear, because I also kept writing like everything that bothered me. I would just write it down. This is something my yogi instructor told me. And yeah,
I really love this because, so many times we are seeing the results. I mean, we have this, Manera had, arthritis and she couldn't move. And then now she can. I mean, and they don't understand what comes in between. We don't know what happens. We hear from A to Z, and we don't hear the A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And this is what she's explaining, is that it is a process. This takes time. And the biggest key for her to be able to move through this is her intention and her desire. as she has the intention to be able to get better and the desire to be able to accept what Dr. Mehta is saying to her and to be able to change everything that she has known, going from pizza to, to mung beans, it's a huge difference. And I know that many of you guys are experiencing this journey as well. I mean, it is a process. It does take time, and sometimes it happens faster than others. But with that intention and with that desire, it will come, and anyway, at least that's what I see. Would you agree with that, Dr. Mehta?
Yes. And I want to say that, Munira, your grandmother, she said that you have to accept you have this problem. And acceptance of the anything, it's necessary. Whatever it happens, that first of all, we have to accept, then we can work on that.
Yeah, that's true. But that took some time. Like people,
Yeah.
everyone
It's
needs to know
very
that.
painful to accept everything.
Yeah.
It is also accept to everything. It's also very painful, and it's affecting our emotions also. And Panchkarma means detoxification is not only the physical cleansing, it is emotional cleansing also. And that's why during that process, we are giving the Shirodhara, Heart Dhara. Yeah. Heart
Yeah.
Dhara is helping to remove the emotional cleansing, emotions. Even Shirodhara, it's calm down the mind. Yeah. Whatever the stress, tension, it's helping to calm down that.
It is so beautiful.
And after completion of that detoxification, we are starting with the Basti's anima treatments. Anima treatments, we are planning like there is some empty stomach Basti, Niru Basti we are saying, is going very deep inside, and it is doing the again some cleansing. And Anuvasan Basti is the oil Basti, and that is for the rejuvenation program. And in chronic condition, we are planning the 17, 18 bastis for the persons. If there is a need, then we are planning for 30 bastis also sometimes.
That's wonderful.
But I think in Munira's case, we have done 18 basti course. And then again, we have repeated it. No?
So how long were you in the clinic? You were
For
3 months? For 3 months. Wonderful.
They said 5 weeks, but to me, it was like, well, I closed my boutique, so I had nothing to go back to. So I'm like, this is for me. I need to just reevaluate everything and make sure that I never come back here again, not in India, but like in that. And Dr. Mehta, honestly, like I have a lot of questions, and she was so patient, and she just took her time to explain everything to me. Like there are some of the treatments that I didn't enjoy. So I'm like, why do I need to do this? And she's like, well, we're doing this because this, and that happens to you. So I think like once you know what it does to you, I'm like, oh, okay, well then, yeah, I need that,
So wonderful. Well, both of you, thank you so much for sharing. And just, you can just see how radiant, Manera is, and how loving and accepting Dr. Mehta is. I have heard so many wonderful things about Dr. Mehta. So it's such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you both so much for sharing. So appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mehta.
Thank you, Jaina. Thanks, Gary.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Mehta. Look in the chat. I sent you a private message because I've gotten a reading from Clint recently that will have me starting in on again the herb supplements that I've fallen off of. So we'll talk, or I'll hear from you soon about your assessment. So thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mehta. It's so good to see you.
Nice to see you.
I love this support system. It's so interesting. I was just on a WhatsApp chat with Dr. Ranak this morning, and immediately he responded. And I'm just, I couldn't do that with my medical doctor. It just really is amazing, the support that we have. I love that Dr. Steve is here on the call. Dr. Steve, how are you? Would you like to unmute and share?
Very well.
Great.
I'm not on the ski slopes today. I'm home today.
Is it it seems like you've got somebody that you are working with. Is he on the call yet?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out, what name he's under. I just emailed him, but I'm working with this client, and here's an important thing that we learned today. When we share with other people, that's how people find out about this. My best friend Mike, who was on last week, shared with one of his friends about this, and that's what gave him the confidence. He read Clint's book. He couldn't believe it. It was so out of what he was usually doing in his life. And he took it on. So I've never met this man. We talked over the phone. He said, send me the herbs. He did the healing detox, and he could hardly get out of the construction vehicle that he runs in his business. He couldn't participate in playing with his, I think his 12-year-old son. They skied together. He just sent me a text today, and he said he skied twice. So he's under, if you want to look, he's under Barcelo family in it, if you want to bring him on. And he just sent me an email today, a text today, that for the first time he skied 2 days in a row, like 6 hours each day. Hey, there he is. Hey, Chris.
Chris, can you unmute?
Yep, there we go.
Yeah. Oh my God, Steve. Yeah, I just got back from a walking meditation in the snow, in a foot deep that I did blind, like with my eyes closed. A month and a half ago couldn't stand up straight, let alone balance myself and have my eyes closed. And I learned a cool word this week. It's called serendipity. I knew what it meant, but it was exactly what you said. Mike was coming at me, telling me about he had a diet he tried 8 years ago for gout, never had it again. He knew the chronic pain I was in. I had my hips replaced 2 years ago, over 2 years, and I've been working on everything to get back. And I'm in the construction field, and I work very hard, and every day I can't walk.
And now, how old are you? How old are you, Chris?
I'm 54.
54, 2 hip replacements already.
2 hip replacements. I've been working since I was 7, so I worked them off. But I met, through Mike, I also met Ann Wilkinson, who, my body worker, the only time I've ever felt human is when I see her, and then I can't see her for months at a time. So I'm in a tremendous amount of pain. It's consuming me, and doing everything I can to get it. Acupuncture, I've tried stretching, inversion tables, I've tried floating, I've tried every single thing. Physical, nothing works. Gets me short periods of time. When I jumped all in on this, I didn't even get through the book. I read 6 chapters as I was in. Since I started that diet, and I'm a soldier, I stick right to the diet. On day 3, my pain was half of what I've been experiencing for 2 years. And my pain wasn't a lot of tremendous pain, but kind of death by 1,000 needle pain. It's just always there, and really started to depress me. It's consuming. My 12-year-old wants to play baseball. I can't even walk outside and throw a ball. Now, within a week, my pain was reduced by 70%. Standing up straight now, perfectly straight. Went skiing.
It's amazing, by 70%?
70%. They wanted to hand me piles of Oxy and Percocets for pain, and I would never take any of it.
Oh my gosh.
I can't tell you how amazing I felt in such a short period of time. It has changed my life dramatically.
But is your son home? You should have him talk.
Junior, come here. He's playing a game, obviously, playing a video game.
But what's it like to be able to play with him again?
It's heaven on earth. It is.
Look at that smile. That smile is not just on his lips. That is from his heart. That is down deep in his soul.
I've been working for this for so hard, so long to, because that's my boy. That's all I want to do is play with my boy. And when I come home, he says, let's throw a ball. And I'm in every throw, I'm in pain. When we were skiing, an hour into it, I'm in pain, dreading it all week. Oh my God, I got to take my boy skiing. But I'm taking my boy skiing. I'll trudge through it. I'm a soldier. I'm pain-free. I'm pain-free at 10 o'clock at night now. I used to try to walk around my house, at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Now I take the dogs out. On week 2, I was running down my driveway. I ran down my driveway.
I love, can you read his t-shirt? It says caterpillar, but now he's a butterfly.
Exactly.
Oh,
It's amazing. I can't, I can't wait to find out what my my things are, like what to continue with this diet and what agrees with me and changes that inflammation. And I never thought by eating differently like this. And I should, Anne's been yelling at me forever, telling me, you got to change your diet, you got to change your diet, change your diet. And thank God she sent me that book. And thank God Mike nudged me one more time into Steve's direction. I'm a different person.
Amazing.
I just have to jump in here because
My body, mind, and spirit are all one again. I'm back in my center.
I just have one question I've got to ask you in person is that how many years were you afflicted with this? And I just heard you say in 2 weeks, it was gone.
I have been suffering hip pain for 7 years until I went with my operations. I came out of my operations. When I say pain, I was in a 10 all day, most of the day, on a good day at 8, where I was begging them to cut me open. When I came out of that surgery, I was at a pain level of 5, 6 on a daily. So 5 or 6, that's nothing compared to 10 all day. I'm good. I don't need the perks. I don't need the oxys. I'm good. I'll deal with it. But every day of a 5 or 6, halfway through your day, and you get hit again. Terrible.
For 7 years?
For the last 2.5 years, December, 2 years on my second hip surgery, 2.5 years on my first hip surgery, I was in pain for the better part of my day every day.
Mm-hmm.
And
you just texted me today. You went skiing 2 days in a row.
2 days in a row.
6 hours each day?
4
That's
hours, 4.5
amazing.
hours each day. And
That's great.
I got off the mountain. I was like, holy crap, I could do this tomorrow. Excuse me.
How many of you guys think that this is amazing?
Mm.
So amazing. I mean, this is so incredible. Let's just send him love the way that we always send love. Let's send him, Chris, so much love. Just coming at you, Chris. Way to go. We are celebrating with you. This is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Chris said it exactly. You have to take this on. I had another client the other day to do the healing detox, and we don't have the herbs yet. We're getting them in a few days. And he's like, I want to start now. He was a lacrosse player, and he was like pain like Chris all the time. He hasn't even started the herbs yet, but he's going to take it on like a soldier. And that's the thing. You have to take it on and just do it. Even if your mind is saying, oh, I can't do that, I can't do this. You just take it on. You just take it on. Powerful.
I do. That's awesome. It's so great. Chris,
Anything you
thank you.
put your mind to. Anything you put your mind to, you could do it.
We're going to ski together one day, Chris.
Amen,
That's when
brother.
we meet each other. We'll go to Hunter.
Oh, perfect. I'd love to. I'd love to.
I love it.
People raising their hand. Do you want to call on?
Yes, Catherine. Catherine, would you like to? I need to unmute.
Hi, good morning. What a powerful story. So grateful to hear just that you've had such wonderful, miraculous transformation. I am also experiencing wonderful, miraculous transformations, and it is really true that you just take it on and you make it a blessing and you make it your practice, a sacred practice every day, all day long. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this group and to be learning from this lineage, and so grateful for this opportunity to share the love with everybody.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, Catherine. Thank you. Awesome. Well, great. This has been amazing. I know that the time is getting close to the end, and we have a very special guest. Is there anything that anybody would like to share and in adding to this? You know, your thoughts mean a lot. Would love to have you share. Just unmute.
I found a picture, but I don't know if you can see
and
it.
There you are. I couldn't see that you're on the.
I don't know if I can. This is a picture of Chris. Hold on. Okay, that's like in the same day. That's a before treatment and after treatment. But imagine him walking around, the first picture of him walking around all day. He does very hard work. Imagine him with his head that forward. You know how much your head weighs when it's that forward? It weighs like 30 pounds. And in the second picture, it weighs nothing, you see? And you see how tight his hips, how bent he is in his hips? It's very hard to stand against gravity like that.
And now he doesn't have the belly too.
Really, he lost 19 pounds and he didn't really need to lose any. You wouldn't have looked at him and said he needs to lose weight. And when he said he lost 19 pounds, I got a little nervous because that seemed like a lot, you know, but he's a big guy. And I have to tell you here, it delights me because this guy is such the best dad and the best husband. And like, my joy is just radiating around the world right now because nobody deserves to feel good like this. This man, he makes me have hope in man. He's spiritual. He has incredible conversation. You're around him, you feel so good. I don't know how he was so good in so much pain. So now, unleashed from pain, I don't know what this man can do for. I mean, I'm so glad I could just cry.
I love it, and I love this. So, Anne, I want to know, when did you give him the book?
You know, he's Italian and so am I. So when I started saying to him, gluten-free, right there, oh, you know, I mean, and his wife, you know, kind of looked like, what, how am I gonna, and she made her beautiful kitchen and she makes all these, he's eating lunch meats and he's doing all this and I'm going, ooh, you know, and anyway, I never imagined that he would do this and stay with it for the whole time. I couldn't imagine. And I was so proud of him when he told me. But when he said he had the pain that quick, like right now, you know, I used to work hard on you, huh? He's a big guy. And I'm like, oh my God, maybe I have to just tell all my patients you have to do mung beans for 30 days before I'm going to work on you. I'm not sure where to go with this now, you know, but I'm so happy that you're not in pain.
I'm down 30 pounds.
What?
Wow.
My wife says I'm too skinny, but I feel like I felt when I was probably 19 years old, when I was a small little kid, and then I became a 260-pound bodybuilder. And it was an all-natural process, and it took years, and I feel like I'm 16, but I know that I will feel young, I will feel 50 when I'm 80, because I felt like I was 80 when I was 50. And I don't want to, I can't even imagine what 60 would feel like on the course I was on. It's incredible. And I probably had to be one of your worst patients. I go to a stretch lab, they stretch me. They say I was one of the hardest people they've ever worked on. And now I'm standing up straight.
Can I ask
the beamer too?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Can I ask a question? So some of people on the call who might be like me, who get a little slippery with my commitment to the, right? And I just wondered what your secret is in staying, you know, like how strong you are in your commitment. I sometimes get tempted to, you know, to go to comfort foods that aren't good for me. And I just, even when I'm committed, right, I lose my way sometimes. And I just wondered, what's your secret in staying on your commitment, on your, you know, on your path? I'm really impressed and moved by your commitment.
I don't know if it's a secret more than in a way of life for me. I'm a very straight shooter. I start most of my relationships as anything, you don't lie to me, I won't lie to you. It's a perfect relationship. Do that to yourself. I know I can do anything that I want to do. I'm connected with everything. And I recognize that my body, mind, and spirit are one. There's no, if you want to do it, I smoked 2 packs of cigarettes when I was a kid. And I just decided one day I don't want them, I put them down.
But I told Chris, it will take a full year to get your bucket emptied, that you can't like have a cheat day here and here or a cheat week. And it's not like, oh, I feel better and I'm done. That bucket is still probably pretty full. And it will take a year to empty that bucket for the new cells to replace the old cells in your body that had this consciousness, this memory of this pain and symptom and rut. And we see that all the time. Everyone goes, oh, I lost, 30 pounds doing this, 20 pounds doing this. And they go back to the way they ate and it comes back,
That's so important.
You got to get the bucket empty.
That's so important. That there's a whole chapter in the book Reversing Heart Disease around moderation kills. Because once you adopt the moderation mentality of, oh, just a little bit doesn't matter, soon it's a lot, and that matters. And there are some questions in the chat for you, Chris, about the detox. Was it the one that was followed by that you received from Ayush Shakti and
Steve sent me all my herbs. So it was I when I say I jumped in head first into the deep end, I didn't even know where I was going. It hit me. I'm going. I'm tired of feeling like garbage.
This big construction worker did Bosties too. You know,
yoga wasn't helping. Everything, and everything helped a little bit. Everything helped. Your beamer helps tremendously. Everything helps a little bit. But this thing was a shock to my system. And I didn't even read, like I said, I haven't even finished the book. Steve sent me the herbs. He said, if you can get through 7 days, you'll feel great. If nothing else, get through 7 days. I plan on doing 30. It was the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. It was the easiest diet I've ever been on. I did Atkins. I lost 45 pounds in 45 days. I wasn't looking to lose weight. I wanted to reset my body, and this reset my body. And now I cheated the other day. I had pizza. Thinking of Dr. Naram, they had pizza at a poker game. I'm like, yeah, I'll have pizza. Let me grab a bite of pizza. I felt it in my stomach all day yesterday. Felt it sitting there. Don't want that. Don't like it. Don't need it. Off. Now I'm back on. I have no problem. I think a year would be a piece of cake. I haven't been hungry. I have not been craving anything. I have not gone, oh geez, I want something to snack on. And I eat all day long. I eat a big breakfast.
And Chris has not had a consultation yet. So his pulse hasn't been read. He had like just the healing detox that Ayush Shakti with the Ayush Shakti herbs. Like, so we didn't really know much about him before getting into this, except that he was in pain. And I've had, dozens and, of people do the healing detox, but really hundreds of people do the mung bean soup fast since 2002 or 3. And I remember I went to Australia once. I cooked for 300 people and I had 2 heroin addicts stop using. They emailed me later, because you empty that bucket, it doesn't have the same power over you. The food, the emotions, the drama in life, you just go, oh, I want to feel good. Okay, this is nice,
I feel lighter, not physically lighter. My essence, my being, I feel lighter, happier, healthier. I heard birds today. I haven't heard. It's just everything feels better.
Is there anyone who doesn't want to feel like Chris is describing? I mean, and knowing that's your innate, if that's not your description of yourself today on Valentine's, maybe it's time to send a Valentine to yourself and sign it from Chris.
I love it. That's one of the reasons why we call this the Global Healing Miracle Experiment, because it is such a miracle what you are experiencing because of the healing that you have had. It's absolutely beautiful. I so appreciate this conversation because it's so real. Both the conversations that we've had today are just real. There's no hype. It just, if you do it, you'll get better. It's just amazing, and with the guidance of Ayush Shakti, they help you stay in balance. And it's just a beautiful thing. So thank you so much. Padmalaya, you had something to say. Would you like to unmute?
Yes, I wanted to add a little something from what Gary was asking about, that how do we stick to our commitment? And I'm certainly not perfect with this at all, but one thing I've noticed for myself that really helps me, well, 2 things. One is that I put an absolute ban on eating out. 99%. I don't ever get anything out of the house at all, because a lot of that stuff is going to be prepared in a way that's not really up to my standard. But the other thing is that to only buy at the grocery store and only have in the house what I really am going to want to eat and is good for me. It's a little bit tricky for me because my son is very slender, so I want to have some things for him that are higher fat and that even maybe are healthier options in that realm, like avocado, let's say. So I'll tell myself, well, that's for him and I'm not going to eat it. Or even if it's like a bag of potato chips or bread or something, but if it's in the house, I will eat it. So not having it in the house, I've noticed, is such a quote unquote easy way to control that. But then it puts me more on the path, and then I feel better, and that adds motivation. The other thing, of course, we all know, and we all know this stuff, but I'm just kind of highlight it, is to not go to the grocery store hungry. Because if I go to the grocery store hungry, I will come home with something that I shouldn't be eating. So
I so agree with you. You know, the other day I was at the grocery store and I kept looking at all these, you know, Valentine's Day stuff. And I thought, oh, I could get something like that. And then I remembered, I don't want pain. I don't want to have lack of energy. I don't want to have my blood pressure go back up again. To me, I have to look at it as that's poison, you know, and I just keep thinking how delicious those mung beans are and how satisfying they are.
But don't forget, when your bucket is empty, once in a while you can do something. This isn't about denial. This isn't about fanaticism. This is about eating well, because sometimes when I ski, I fall and I'll get hurt sometimes. You have to be willing to be so well that your body can handle something like that.
I love that you said that. My bucket's not empty. I've only been on this since July. So I'm still working on emptying my bucket, but I so appreciate that, Dr. Steve. Thank you so much.
Another thing that comes to my mind too, in relationship to that, as a sort of middle aspect of that too, is that I've also redefined my aspect of what's a cheap food. Like, for example, like avocado, it's healthy, but it's higher fat. So I don't want to eat a lot of it. But for me, that's an example of a cheat food, whereas in the past, a cheat food might have been something else, something, I don't know, like cookies or ice cream.
Thanks so much, Pamela. I love that.
Hey, Jana, I want to make a
Yes, Julia.
Yeah, as far as how you look at food, or calling things cheap food, like I don't look at it that way personally. Last year, after I met with Dr. Naram and got the herbs and was eating a lot of mung bean soup, it was before he passed away. It was at the beginning of last year. And then for several months, clear into May, I had a big transformation in my body, a lot of mung bean soup. But I know that I went very gluten-free and sugar-free. And I was pretty strict, but I allowed myself to have, avocado and papaya. And I do have that craving for something yummy every now and then. And so I just altered some of the things that I used to make. So I found recipes for gluten-free, sugar-free banana bread, for example, or zucchini bread. And I learned how to make a gluten-free mix out of almond flour and coconut flour and some brown rice stuff. And instead of sugar, I would substitute maple syrup, pure 100% maple syrup. And just, altering from the really super refined foods and processed foods to more whole foods. And then, allowing that treat to come in every now and then. And I honestly was doing that the whole time I was eating the mung soup, off and on when I would need something, or even super dark chocolate that had very little, some pure cane sugar sweetener. And I met a 35-year goal on my weight, and I wasn't even really trying to lose weight, but I went down like 10 more pounds. And so you can play with it. You can play with the recipes and just don't have to revert back to, I'm going to go have Krispy Kreme donuts, because it's just kind of a mindset of, what am I putting in my body? This is my temple. Yeah. And how pure do I want to keep my temple? And what are foods, in addition to mung bean soup, add the greens. When you're doing the detox, it might be a little bit different, but as you start wanting to have little treats now and then, just think of what could be a healthy option that could also be super yummy. And there's a lot of stuff. Even mixing, trying things like one day I mixed avocado with banana with cacao and a little maple syrup, and it was divine. You just try wholesome things.
That's so great, Julia. Thank you so much. For those of you guys that don't know, Julia is on the video that's on the website, ancientsecrets.com. She goes through how to make mung bean soup. So we so appreciate her and her culinary skills. So we appreciate her. We are to the end, and we have this wonderful, wonderful musical number. Susanna Westwood, we would love to have you unmute. Dr. Clint speaks very highly of you and your music, and would you like to share a little bit about yourself before you begin?
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me here. And honestly, the stories have been amazing because I'm just about to start the detox. Literally this week, I have all the herbs. So just right. So I'm like, oh yeah. So thank you so much for sharing, guys. That's been amazing. Music wise, I've been working in the industry for quite a while, but just started to actually write and perform again for myself. I'm writing a new album at the moment. But for me, I shared this song, and that's what Dr. Clint kind of messaged me and asked me to perform. Because this is called This I Know, this song that I'm going to share with you today. And this was really about a time where I was feeling I couldn't keep going. I was running a business, I was exhausting myself, I was pushing and nothing was happening. And I remember this moment of just sitting down and sort of praying instead of praying. I was like, I don't know what to do. And it was in this moment of surrender that I realized, I was like, this I know for sure that you are with me. And those were the lines. And for me, it was all about when I feel like I was giving up on my dreams, giving up on what I wanted to do, I was feeling that pressure. And it was in that moment of sweet surrender. This I know for sure that you are with me. And I'll play it. I'm not a keyboard player, so I will apologize in advance, first of all. Normally I have a full band, which I love. Obviously they can't all be here.
Well, I love that you're saying that in the words, because that's exactly what Manera did. Is she surrendered?
As soon as I heard a story, I went, yes, I totally get that moment. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's exactly what Chris did. Chris surrendered. You know, when you surrender, you can allow the healing to come in. So excited to hear your music. Thank you so much.
Okay, right. Let me pull this up. So just let me know if you can't hear anything, but hopefully you'll be able to hear. Okay, so this is called This I Know. Don't let the sun go down on me. Don't let this heart begin to bleed. Don't let this life be swept away. 'Cause this I know for sure. Don't let my dreams begin to fade. Don't let this tide pull me back again. Don't let this fear grip me to this place. 'Cause this I know for sure. And this I know for sure. You are with me. You will hold me. You will love me through it all. You will guide me. You will hide me. You will love me till I'm strong. When I have given, there's nothing left to take. I've tried everything, made so many mistakes. When I have fallen flat on my face, this I know for sure. This I know for sure. Oh, this I know for sure. You are with me, you hold me, you love me through it all. You guide me, you find me, you keep me till I'm strong.
So beautiful.
Hopefully you
Thank
could
you
hear.
so much. It was beautiful, Susanna. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's awesome.
So grateful that you guys were all here for this day of love, you know, reminding yourself to take care of yourself, to really commit to yourself, for your health, so that you can be there for the ones that you love. Also,
Susanna,
just
that was so beautiful. Thank you so much. I just had to pipe in there. Sorry, Jana. Just wanted to say thank you so much, Susanna,
I appreciate
for
it. Thank
being
you.
such a beautiful contribution.
Thank you. And if anyone actually wants the original, they can go and literally go and grab it. It's on Spotify, so you can just go and search This I Know, and you can go and have a listen. There's a couple of others on there that are just really heartfelt, and there's some new ones coming through, which I'd love to share with you in the future. Really feeling like I'm channeling through some new stuff. So thank you.
and I put your Facebook page in the chat a couple of times, so everybody will be able to connect with you.
They can, they can get a hold of that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you. So, you know, we wouldn't be here without one man, and that's Dr. Naram. We're so grateful for him. Unfortunately, he left the body on the 19th. And so on that day, if you could, keep him in your prayers. Keep this work in your prayers, and possibly light a candle if possible. We sure love him. Sure love all of you guys. Let's unmute and say, I love you and I'm with you. And thank you so much for sharing this time.
I love
you. And
Love
I'm
you
with
and
you.
I'm with
Love
you.
you and I'm with you, and I'm with you. I love you and I'm
Love you and I'm with you.
love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
Love you and
I
I'm
love
with
you and
you.
love you and I'm with you.
All and I'm with you and I'm with
I love
you.
you and I'm with you.
I love you.
Love
Love
you and
you.
I'm with you.
Bye bye.
I love you and I'm with you.
Bye bye.
I love
Love you and I'm with
Bye.
you.
Love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with
Bye.
you.
Love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you.
Love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
I love
Love you and I'm with you. Love you and I'm with you.
love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you. Love you and I'm
I just love that. You guys are amazing. I love you and I'm with you. Happy Valentine's Day and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.